thing that was obviously the most important was the decision the school board and staff made to create the facility. I think we're all well aware of the benefit of a fine arts component to a student's success and education. And so I think that was key, just the whole idea of including it in the bond program. From there, the staff and the committee that the board and staff appointed were the driving force behind the project. On our end, the design team, we had a large team with several experts in their fields, acoustics, obviously the performance technology you see here, and coordinating that team and then integrating it with the district's team of the design committee, which was individuals from within the district and from within the community. Sort of bringing that whole team together, that collaboration is really what drove the entire design. The design committee's focus was first and foremost it needed to perform as a performance facility. In other words, the acoustics and the flow of the space was key.
At the PAC, we have several events. We have region events. We host UIL events from all our region. We have choir, band, orchestra concerts that benefit from our state-of-the-art equipment. Our facility features an amazing capability to create different signal flows. For example, we could have an independent mix sent to the video room or another one going to the front of house. Therefore, our DSP expands our capabilities to create appropriate mixes for the appropriate use. Also, having multi-track recording capabilities through Pro Tools and our Dante network actually allows our students and performing artists to obtain a professional audio and video recording.
For most of the events we have at the Performing Arts Center, I'm the main person that handles the lighting. During certain events, such as our theater plays, I'm able to show some of the students who are interested and let them control the board. I'll start off by giving them a template to work with, and I'll help them program it. Afterwards, I give them control, and they can now run the show for themselves. The lighting requirements change for the different events we host. For example, a choir concert requires our cloud lighting, which is an overall broad lighting with minimal adjustments. In contrast, theater events have a much more diverse lighting mix, sometimes requiring over 100 different cues. A cue can have many color and intensity changes, allowing me to light various areas of the stage independently. Here at the PAC, our full flight tower, the only one in South Texas, allows us to have a broad mix of LEDs, which are used for the color changes, as well as traditional theater lights. During the UIL season, when we host theater events which are being judged, schools are allowed to only use approved UIL lighting areas, and any changes may disqualify them. The PAC was designed and built with this in mind to ensure that any UIL events we host are in full compliance.
One thing we wanted to express, again, you begin the experience of a building from the parking lot as you enter and you drive in. And so we wanted to start to create this image, one that was embodied movement, had sort of a movement, and wasn't a static, very still, symmetrical design. So we wanted to create an asymmetrical balance, and that cone, that inverted cone, that is a deep sort of terracotta color, was one way that we sort of broke up the symmetry, added an element of movement to the facade. And again, you start to understand that as you enter the property immediately, that there's something going on here that it has to do with motion and that kind of thing. So that shape grew out of the program element. We needed a separate ticket booth that served inside and out, and it took on this sort of molcajete shape and color, was kind of the jumping off point. Of course, it developed all kinds of nicknames throughout the design process. But that, next to it is a sort of modern interpretation of a Talavera tile, sort of a super graphic, and then of course the brick element there on the right. And then it being sort of a modern, very rectilinear shape, we really wanted to soften that and create a warm feeling. And so you see that in a lot of the wood veneer that's in the ceiling, a lot of the wall surfaces. And then of course, getting back to the bicultural influence, bright colors are a strong element in the region. Again, collaboration was key. There was a middle point that we had to strike. There's so many different types of things that go on here, from folklorico dance to symphony to drama, plays. So we had to strike a balance acoustically between something that would absorb and reflect the sound of a large ensemble, as well as an individual spoken word, somebody up here giving a speech or a presentation. So our design team, again, we feel was the best in the state. The acoustic consultant especially, he had to strike that medium, and then the way it gets physically made is sort of an iterative process. We would design a space in a shell that would have these wood panels and ceiling baffles, and they would actually model it. There are computer programs that can model the acoustics, so they'd run that through the model, and then we'd sort of tweak the shape and angle of a lot of these architectural elements to achieve that perfect middle ground acoustically.